Populasi warga Indonesia ada sebanyak 283 juta. Lulusan prodi akuntansi juga masih banyak. Tapi, kenapa akuntan profesionalnya masih sedikit? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo, saya Uni. Kembali lagi di podcast program studi akuntansi Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang. Pada podcast kali ini, kita kedatangan tamu dari Timba Education Group yang nantinya akan memberikan kita wawasan yang luas terkait bagaimana caranya untuk menjadi akuntan profesional. Telah bersama dengan kita Mr. Airil Rajani selaku founder dan CEO dari Timba Education Group. Okay. Hello, Mr. Airil.
Hello, Uni.
How are you today?
Yeah, very good, fine, thank you.
I'm Uni.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be your host today. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, that in early 2023, Indonesia only have one of professional accountants by 121,000 of Indonesian people. So it's mean that a lot of students that want to learn about accounting, but not all of them want to being a professional accountant. So based on that case, my first question to Mr. Airil, that is it happen to another country? And then maybe by Mr. Airil perspective, what's actually happened?
Okay, so I think you mentioned that Indonesia has 1 to 121,000 of accountant towards population ratio. Of course, when we look in terms of the number reflects on the lacking of number of professional accountants in the country. Now, is it normal? Do we face this before in other countries? Actually, we do. It depends on the economic development of a particular nation. So as the country moves forward, develop further, there are going to be demand for more and more professional accountants, especially global accountants. So, but if we were to look in terms of the progression in the Indonesia market, we do see the number of accountants, the exposure, the awareness towards the need of professional qualification has actually improved tremendously. So that's where I believe the professional bodies such as ACCA are playing a very important role, working closely with ERE to ensure that we can further help to upskill and also improve on the number of professional qualification in Indonesia.
Okay, that's actually also happened in another country.
Yes. We've seen that even in Malaysia up until today, since our independence, despite we have the second biggest number of ACCA members in Malaysia, but it's still not enough, because right now, for example, in Malaysia, we are targeting to have 60,000 chartered accountant since 2020, but we could not achieve. Now, our government have moved it to 2030 to achieve that 60,000. But right now we are only still at around 38,000. So that's where I think this is not an issue. The issue of shortage is not just something that Indonesia is facing, but most developing nation, even developed nation, if you were to explore countries like United States, again and again, year by year, they have been reporting insufficient accountants in the country. So that's where, as like accounting, we would say that it is a profession where it will always flourish. But of course, the awareness and also the encouragement from the government plays a very important role to ensure that we can improve the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Airil, maybe it have a correlation with my first question, that is work as a professional accountant still attractive today, and then is there still have a career opportunity for a professional accountant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I always say that, accounting, being an accountant, it is the only profession in the world that allows you to go global, compared to any other profession, such as lawyer, because you are still subjected to the localization of a certain particular country. But accountants, on the other hand, the principle of being an accountant is accepted worldwide. Now, is it still attractive? Of course. Like I've said, as long as there is a company, whether it is a startup or whether it is at the growing star, whether is it at the cash cow level, or even when the company is going to wind down, there is always going to be a need of accountant. Now, with the presence of technology that's happening right now, demand of technology and the issue of sustainability that becomes a very important role, a very important topic. This is where it is more attractive for us as the accountant, because the role of accountants now have evolved. So it is now beyond financial statement. We are now looking into few new areas that are very interesting, such as sustainability reporting. We are now exploring data analytics as a tool in our profession. We are now looking into cloud accounting. So this is where there are more and more new opportunities for the younger generation. But it is our role as the current accountants now have to ensure we make the profession to remain as sexy, so that we can attract the younger generation to come on board as a professional accountant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're talking about a professional accountant, Mr. Airil, what is the importance of professional accounting certification of accounting graduates?
Yeah. Now, this professional accounting gives you many benefits, in which, of course, number one, qualifications such as ACCA acts like a global passport. You can go anywhere in the world with ACCA. You can be automatically recognized. So a holder, an ACCA member, can go into another country, apply to become an accountant in another country without any additional exams. Now, of course, having a professional qualification sets a student apart, sets an accountant apart from another accountant, mainly because of the level of knowledge. So professional qualification gives various exposure, industry acumen, business acumen, commercial acumen, which it is an I would say a competitive advantage to a normal degree holder, because the exposure and the case studies that are being given to the accountant, to the students to train them is much different. Thirdly, of course, network. By being a professional accountant, you can capitalize on the network of the professional body, and most importantly, to get yourself updated with all the developments that are happening in the industry, because of the continuous professional development hours that an ACCA or a professional member needs to maintain on a year-by-year basis. So there are so much benefits that you can obtain by being a professional accountant, and puts you to become a global accountant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is have a correlation with Mr. Airil.
Yeah.
That Mr. Airil, what is the Timba Education Group?
So Timba Education is a center of excellence where we run professional qualification certification to train professional accountants. But of course, for now, we start with professional accountants. We run various professional qualification programs for accountancy, but of course, the biggest one is for ACCA. So we have the aspiration of providing an inclusive platform that is affordable for everyone, getting as many students on board to obtain good quality education, and of course, at the same time, helping the students to achieve their goals, unleashing their potential, believing in themselves, and Timba will also believe in them and help them to achieve that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if we were talking about Timba Education Group, what does Timba Education offer or provide to help students that want to get a professional accounting certification?
Now, of course, what makes us to be different is that we do understand to convince Indonesian students to come on board to look into professional qualification. Number one, the issue is language, right? Karena we know majority of Indonesian students are concerned with the needs of English language. So that's where what we do to help the students we actually roll out what we call as bridging classes, English classes, to help the students to improve their English, their business English, so that they have the ability to answer the question, understand their learning, to complete their ACCA on the Timba platform. Secondly, we do understand there are students who have different exposure, different upbringing. Students who are in Jakarta, maybe they do not have the same exposure with the students who are in Malang, students who are in Semarang. So what do? We try to give them that exposure. Again, via the bridging module, we ensure that we can bring them up before they eventually look into the ACCA qualification, examination, classes and so forth. Building their confidence. So that's where we help in terms of their soft skills, in terms of their critical skills. And then thirdly, of course, is in terms of the cost. So is it expensive to pursue professional qualification? Well, it's not expensive with Timba and ACCA, because for the first time ever, we are making the professional qualification to be affordable. Like I've said, our aspiration is to provide good quality education, inclusive, affordable, to ensure that as many students as possible, that we can help to achieve their dreams of becoming a professional accountants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's specification about if joining the Timba education group, what benefits do students get about it?
Most importantly, other than the learning experience, engagement with industry leaders, of course, we are proud to share that 94% of our students who study full-time on our platform are all employed. So we actually help the students up until job facilitation. So whether they are going to work in the Big Four or whether they are going to work in the multinational corporation or even the listed companies, Timba is there as a companion to help the students to build their career together with ACCA. Now, of course, secondly, we also look in terms of the non-academic support that we can provide to the students. Now, we do understand sometimes students have personal issues or maybe mental health issues that requires them to have that additional support. So that's where we have our mentor-mentee, we have our strong scholar management team that is available to assist the students to complete their qualification. And we are also giving the platform to the students if, let's say, they intend to have experience to work globally. For example, studying in Indonesia, we are also happy to assist on the visa and also their job placement for them to come on board, for them to come abroad to pursue their career in a different country.
Okay, Mr. Airil, I'm personally really interested to join the Timba Education Group. And then, Mr. Airil, this is the last question to closing our podcast today. What is the suggestion and input for the accounting students to achieving or to get their future goals to be as a professional accountants?
Yeah, of course, number one, I would say it's important for the students to believe in themselves, because we know that being students in a developing nation, we always ask ourselves whether can we do it, can I do it? The answer is yes, with the right support from Timba. So believing in yourself is very much important. Number two, I will always say that Indonesia is a very powerful country. We expect Indonesia to be the next superpower of the nation, and the government has done so much to open up the country, and it is at the right track to be developed further. Hence, with the presence of global corporates in Indonesia, it is important that we prepare ourselves, embracing the openness by ensuring that we need to actually learn the international language such as English, so that we can obtain better opportunity to grow ourselves. So and of course, thirdly, with all the changes that are happening in the world right now, it is imminent, it is important that the students remain updated. As much as we watch so much TikTok videos, it's the same thing that we have to do in terms of our studies. That means knowing the development that is happening in the industry, ensuring that we are preparing ourselves for the changes, and understanding that the accountants will never become obsolete, but in order for us to maintain that, we have to accept the fact that change is the only constant. We have to embrace technology in order for us to remain relevant. So technology will drive the profession and evolve the role of accountants, and we need to be prepared, especially when the world is getting more and more complex. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for
Thank
Mr.
you,
Aidil
Uni.
about your suggestion and input for us.
Yep.
May it could be really important for us, personally for me as a college student, and then especially for accountant students in general.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Sampai berjumpa kembali di podcast program studi akuntansi Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.